natural speaker, and I'm much more a natural listener, so I hope you are going to forgive me if I am not so good, but I will try to be. And as you know, I'm French, so I'm the origin, and so I'm living now in Gaziantep since 13 years, and my husband is Turkish archaeology. And I'm going just to introduce you what we are doing in Gaziantep. Especially what is about Gaziantep, what there is in Gaziantep, and then we can discuss after if you have any questions about what you saw. So, Gaziantep is a creative city of gastronomy. As Discussant, we have been designated in 2015, last year. And so, where is Gaziantep? I don't know if many of you knows where it is. So it's located at the western tip of the southeastern region of Anatolia and at the northwestern tip of Metropolitan. The city is one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities in the world, a bit like Discussant is a very old city as well for agriculture. It has a history dating back to the Paleolithic period and is home to Hittite, Roman, Byzantine, Seljuk and Ottoman layers. Today, with a population of 1,931,000 people, Gaziantep has become a regional center and the top 10 fastest growing cities in the world, with its strong cultural, agricultural, and commercial structure, as well as its young and educated population. Small music. It's going to be off.
Have you ever been surprised by the rising morning sun while working? Ever thought you knew it would go unnoticed? Have you ever been surprised by the rising morning sun while working? Ever thought you knew it would go unnoticed? Have you spent hours on a small detail? Whatever it is that you do, have you ever lost yourself doing it? Then been stunned by the result? With anticipation? Have you ever learned something by heart just through observation and practice? Have your hands, by themselves, worked as if they knew what they were doing? Have you ever secretly felt angry at those who told you it wasn't worth it? Did you ever build something piece by piece, thread by thread, letter by letter? Something big. Ever been infused by the sound of a fabric, the scent of copper, or the taste of the sun deep in your soul? Have you ever felt happy when tired? They call it weary happiness. Ever heard of it? Did you ever feel at home among others like yourself? Then, you too are from Gaziantep.
Okay. So, as you have seen in this video, the city is innovative in the industrial field, but it didn't forget its traditions, notably in handcrafts, copper and pearl working, jewelry, and shoes maker are still ongoing and remains very popular amongst the inhabitants and the tourists. The city counts many museums, notably the Yılmaz Mosaic Museum, the city tops tourist attraction, opened in 2012 and displayed 5 mosaics unearthed during the excavation of the nearby Belkis-Dölma Roman archaeological site. On opening, it became the world's largest mosaic museum in the world. The city is also the educational center of the region with its 4 universities. Many international fairs are organized every year, And the rich cultural life of the city is also a driving force of development, and the current economic structure of the city relies, just like it did before through history, on the trio of agriculture, commerce, and gastronomy. Now, Gaziantep and the food culture. Gaziantep has a strong reputation in all culinary areas, and one of the real threats of the city is its incredible food. The city counts no less than 400 registered dishes, and the Gaziantep branch of Turkish Chefs Federation works to promote this specificity, and the association tries to increase the numbers of dishes we can register, as well as they try to promote these dishes at a national and international level. Gaziantep cuisine has combined countless different cultures, just like the city itself. It is not only made up of food, cooking methods, the material used, agricultural and animal ingredients, as well as the heating of the food are all its separate cultural elements. It is based on the grains and livestock of Mesopotamia, on local fruits, vegetables, spices and herbs of the region, and of course, the pistachio. The pistachio and thus the baklava are considered to be the best in the world, and Gaziantep baklava is the only Turkish foodstuff to have achieved the honor to be labelized by the European Union as a PGI, so geographical designation of origin. Some dishes are at the application stage to get a patent and to enter again to this PGI. Now, Gaziantep and in the network, in the UNESCO network. The challenge are many. For the city seats, it has been awarded in 2015 from the European Commission Eden Award on Local Tourism and Gastronomy, and designated as a Creative City of Gastronomy by UNESCO. Since the nomination, the city seeks to find a way to implement the 6 projects that we had to work as a city for our candidacy. And the Bulgo Festival that we initiated this year was mainly created in order to fostering the involvement of Gaziantep's people in their culinary heritage, and then to answer the one of the mission statements, which is this one: strengthen the creation, production, distribution and dissemination of cultural activities, goods and services, improve access to and participation in cultural life, as well as the enjoyment of cultural goods and services, notably for marginalized and vulnerable groups and individuals. Fully integrate culture and creativity into local development strategies and plans. So all 6 projects are those: Kitchen in Districts, so 3 local projects and 3 international projects. Kitchen in Districts, it means we are going to provide in districts in the city some kitchen, movable kitchen, and teach to the people how to cook in an hygienic way, and how they can improve their knowledge about cooking, and how they cook, for example, a special recipe, and we are going to learn from them, and they are going to learn from us. Improving the storage, marketing, condition of spices. In Gaziantep, they sell a lot of spices, and most of the time they are in open air, so it's not so good. So we are trying to find a way to teach to the people how they can store it in a more hygienic way. Atelier without obstacles is for disabled people, so to help them to find a job through workshops on food or gastronomy with the chefs. Now the other projects are research on history of food culture based relations on the Silk Road. It's a project we were thinking to do with the Asian part of the world, actually, because it's the Silk Road, because Gaziantep is on the Silk Road, one of the routes of the Silk Road. And so we were thinking to have the collaboration of some other creative cities of gastronomy from China, from Thailand, from all those areas. Listing the heritage, the royal green. In Gaziantep, people used to cook the white green at springtime mainly. And it is a common point with, for example, the current city of Jeonju. So we are going maybe to collaborate with them on this project to see how we can learn, the benefit of the plants. For example, if they are good for the health, how we can cook it, how we can keep their values, and at the same time to register them, to do not lose their names and the way the people are cooking them. And then the International Gastronomy Festival is actually, we have an International Pistachio Festival. We are going to enlarge it. And so because already we had some guests from abroad, but we are going to enlarge it with more, research panels and these kind of things. Okay. Thank you for your attention.
Discussion with the audience. So, can you started to talk about the projects here that are part of the designation here, and what the plans are. Are you seeing that this is having an effect on is this bearing any fruit yet? I mean, it's just 2015, so have you seen any, restaurants that are starting to put dishes on their menus that have been revived or things like that?
No, because actually Gaziantep is well known in Turkey for its food already. So it's like, okay, they just recognize that we are good in food, and so we don't need to
do anything. Yeah, we're already good. Yeah. Okay, fair enough. I mean, certainly it's, whenever I go to Antep, it's been a couple of years, but eating is definitely high among my priorities when I'm there for sure. Okay, so and how about not maybe the restaurants, but people, local folks? Are you finding people that there's more of an interest, more of a buzz on the part of sort of not restaurateurs, but people are trying to maybe within families even? Have you heard people talking about trying to dust off recipes that they remember their mother or their grandmother, making something like that?
Well, not really, because most of the time people are really cooking like, okay, I know this recipe from my mom, and so I'm still doing it like that, and oh yes, but your mom is not going to do like mine, and no, I don't like that. So it's much more like discussions about this, but they don't, they are very proud about their food actually. And they are very proud about the fact that there is 400 different dishes registered, and for them it's logical to be actually in the network. It's like, okay.
Finally,
yeah.
Finally recognize it. Okay. Well, how about people from other parts of Turkey? Is this, everybody knows that, within Turkey, Antep obviously is famous for being a great destination for food and producing good chefs. I guess also Bolu. Is there? Have you heard about discussions between sort of Antep? How do those discussions tend to go? The city of Bolu also is famous, not so much for its local cuisine, perhaps, but for some reason, maybe there's a historical reason for this, having produced a disproportionately large number of chefs, very good chefs. And Bolu is in the north central part of the country, not in the southeast. So how do those discussions usually go?
Actually, there is. Turkey is very big, like the US, so it's different. The food is always different from a region to another. For example, we have Antalya and Alanya. They are Mediterranean foods, quite different from us. And at the same time, they are trying as well to promote their food, because it's quite rich as well, very interesting as well. And we have Urfa, Şanlıurfa, which is really much on the east too, and they have as well a very rich culinary heritage. So we have several cities, or Hatay even, Antioch. We have several cities like that who try to enter in contact with us to collaborate actually, or to say how you did to enter the network, and what should we do. And for the moment we are really at that level, because our chefs are much more like, we would like to collaborate with foreigner chefs. It's much more like, okay, now we know everything about the food in Turkey. We don't need really to have contact with the other chefs. We want to go abroad and promote our food and show what we can do.
Where is their interest in going abroad? Is it mostly Europe or to anywhere?
Yeah, Europe, Japan, China,
Tucson. Great.
Well, yes.
Fantastic. So much the better for us. Okay.
They are open to everything, you know.
Yeah.
If they can promote that, because they are so proud about what they are, so if they can promote their food, they are happy, of course.
Oh, that's nice. You mentioned a number of organizations, professional organizations, and they seem to be playing an important role,
Yes.
both maybe in the application and becoming a city of gastronomy, and now they seem to be structured into a lot of the projects. Can you talk a bit about that?
Actually, in the application, no, because we were just 2 people to work on it.
Okay.
Yeah. But we have the support, you know, support letters saying yes, we support you, you can do it. And for the rest, now I think the designation impact in this way, it gives to the people the courage to go ahead and to say, okay, now we have this, but we should maybe do this as well. And now we have to register more food dishes as its specificity, because it's really from our region.
Yeah.
So there is a small fight now, for example, with the Armenian, because we have lahmacun. It's a kind of Turkish pizza, and so the Armenians are saying, but we create the lahmacun, and so people from Gaziantep, they are like, oh, but no, it belongs to us.
Yeah.
And then maybe from Ufa, they are going to say, no, it's us.
Yeah.
So, of course, it's normal when you are, I mean, it's moving, traditions are moving, so it's not maybe just from Gaziantep. And lahmacun, anyway, is an Arabic word, so most probably it comes from Syria, but you see, so it's like that. People, they really want to say, okay, now we have to labelize actually the food, and say, okay, we have good products and we have good dishes, and so we have to give to them a mark, it's a brand.
Yeah. So this has become part of the branding of the city of Antep, very much.
Directly after the designation, actually, the municipality encourage people to brand actually the city, and for example, the handcrafts, not just the food. To say we are good in this too, because copper work is very important in Gaziantep, and the silk work as well. So they are like, okay, now we have to work on several, what we are good in. We should show it, what is our know-how, not just like, okay, we are a city of gastronomy, we can do something else.
I see. So, and as part of the project now, is there an effort to strengthen the training of new generations of cooks and chefs?
Yes.
So,
We have, since 2013, actually, a center, culinary center.
Oh, really?
Yes, for everybody, open to everybody. It's like a housewife who are at home and they are bored and they say, okay, I want to improve my knowing in cooking, so I'm going there. Or
That's
for
the
kids at school,
municipality?
yes, it belongs to the municipality. Or kids, we have even students from the university. They can come to a contest in this training center.
How about the extracurricular, the vocational schools,
Yes.
or the universities? You mentioned 4 universities. Do they
Yes,
have
4
any
universities.
units that are also
There is
involved in food service? Or
yes, at the State University we have a culinary department, culinary art department.
culinary arts?
So they are going to the training center called Musem. They are going there to learn how to improve themselves and contest with other schools. So
You said that's the municipalities?
municipalities, art culinary center.
I see. Culinary arts. Oh, great. Okay. How about sort of working back up the sort of supply chain? Is this? Are you noticing this having an impact on the production? You mentioned agricultural practices, and is there a concern with, I don't know, anything from dairy, say, to agriculture and things like that?
Actually, not yet.
Not yet.
This is something that we have to do, and our mayor is supporting the farmers, for example, with seeds and plants.
Oh, okay. Is this kind of heritage stuff that they
Yes,
know are being
that's
lost?
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. For example, for the peppers, because peppers are much produced in Gaziantep, and so she said, okay, we have to improve the quality of
Peppers.
generally of what we produce. So it's a project called From Soil to Table, and this is really to say, okay, we have to provide good stuff to the citizens and to the restaurants and everywhere, but we have to start from there. So we have a problem of seeding too in Gaziantep, because most of the time, how to say, They are not so good, not so original, actually.
The
They are-
seeds.
Yes, the seeds.
Yeah, they're using these large stock
Yeah,
ones that are.
That's it. So every year you have to buy again and continue again, and so it's a big problem, and we are trying now to do something about this.
That's great. Does UNESCO actually offer some support for that, or is
No,
it
no.
It's the
Never.
Sure. Right.
UNESCO, it's just a name.
Yeah, they're done. Their work is done at this point. How about maybe as a final question? Is this are you finding people who are increasingly coming to Antep, maybe not solely for its cuisine or culinary heritage, but that's an important reason why they're coming? Is this part of the whole development plan and part of the whole reason for doing this?
Already,
tourism?
yes. Already, as I said, we have the Eden Award from the European Commission last year, almost 1 week before the designation from UNESCO, about tourism and gastronomy, because already we were attracted a lot of foodies, and the people are even coming just for the food. For example, when I came here, I was in a flight where some people, they were saying, oh, we are going to Gaziantep just for the food, just this weekend. And they were saying, where we can eat kebabs, where we can have the good baklavas, and things like that.
Yeah.
So they really come for this, and they come for the archaeology, because we have a lot of sites.
Food and archaeology, that sounds like a great
For
place.
example, Karkamish here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this is great. That's just to get things started. Let's take some questions from the audience.